Hey guys, what's up? It's Daniel with TrailerMountain.com, and today I'm going to be testing and reviewing a headlamp that I've wanted to get my hands on for a while now. This is the Petzl Tikka RXP. There it is right here. This is a USB rechargeable headlamp, and it has reactive lighting technology. I'm going to get it out of the packaging. I'm going to show you why it's cool and why you should buy one. Alright, so I'm going to get this thing out of the packaging here. Let's see what we got. So this is the headlamp right here. Petzl Tikka RXP, and it has 6 angle settings. So if you're looking down or you're looking straight forward, like if you're trail running at night, you need a bright light, this is a great way to do it. Another cool feature is this back strap here. This really secures around the back of the head and makes things super comfortable. Also, look at the padding on the inside here that goes on your forehead. It's really thick, and that's going to really increase the amount of comfort that you're going to have on your forehead when you're wearing a headlamp like this. Alright, one of the many reasons why this headlamp is cool is, for one, on the top here, this little port, that accesses your USB port right there, so you can actually recharge this. And when you open this part of it, you can actually open this and take the entire battery bank out. This is an 1800 milliamp battery bank, and that's your USB right there, so you can plug this thing in. You can actually get a regular battery pack that fits in here, and that can also accept regular batteries too. So if you want to just put regular batteries in there, you don't want to put this in there, you can. So there's options for you, which is great. It comes with a little micro USB to USB charging cable. This is also a data cable, because Petzl also was genius enough to create an app where you can actually plug this headlamp into your computer and set up different light modes for your headlamp, which is really going to increase the light efficiency and different modes depending on what you're doing. Like if you're trail running at night and you want max light output, or if you just want to use it for backpacking and you're not really going to be hiking very much at night, but you want it for around camp. There's modes for pretty much every little scenario that you might be able to get yourself into at night. So that being said, it's a really cool headlamp with multiple options. When you're done, you basically just kind of plug this little bad boy back in right here, and that kind of just fits back into the little cage. It's a little difficult to get it back in, but once you get it back in and it clicks in place, it's a done deal. It is IPX4 water resistant. This is not submergible, it is not waterproof, so keep that in mind. And when you turn it on, you have a on button right here, and then you have your other button right here, and that's going to allow you to cycle through the different light output modes. So I'm going to turn my lights off, and I'm going to turn the headlamp on, and then I'll go through the different light output modes. It's actually really cool. So what you do is you push and hold the power button, which is right here. Push and hold in 2 seconds. And now it's on. What you do now is you push the top button, and then you can switch in between, like that is the flood and the spot. That is just the flood. That is just the spot. And you can't really see it on the video, but once I get it outside, you'll be able to tell a lot more. And then what you do is you hit the side button here, and then that's going to go into a red light, and then into your other functions, like your sensor right here. This is for your reactive lighting technology. So once it gets super dark, and I'll just block this out just so you can see it, the headlamp will get brighter. And that's done automatically. As I said, reactive lighting technology. Super cool. So it's going to get brighter as it gets darker. It's really going to help out tremendously. So while it's in its reactive lighting technology setting, you can actually set this thing to the next setting, which is constant power. Do that, and then now you have your spot on, and then you use your other button up here. Now you have both on, and now you have just the flood. And then back. And then you hit it again. Now you're in red light mode. This is perfect for around camp. If you need to go to the restroom, if you're car camping and you don't want a bunch of light, you could use the red light. It's really going to increase your battery life, and it's not going to blind other people too. Like if you look up and somebody, hey, what are you doing? And you look up and you're like, oh God, I'm blinded. Red light's the way to go for something like that. It also helps with your eyesight. Hit it back, and then now you're back into like the reactive lighting technology setting. I do have a flashlight here that I'm going to put it on, and then once this thing goes on here, it'll actually turn itself off, just like that. Now I didn't hit the power button or anything like that. There was a ton of light going into the sensor right now, so the headlamp was thinking that, you know, why do you need a light on? So the headlamp turns itself off. So if you hit the power button again, hold it on for 2 seconds, headlamp turns back on. There's your reactive lighting technology again. As I said, I'm just putting my finger over the sensor, so that's going to really increase the light output because it's getting darker. And then you go into the next setting, which is constant on, and you use the top button to go in between your different light outputs. You have your spot, you have your flood, and both. So there's your flood, there's your spot, and then there's both. And this thing gets super bright. As I said, it's 215 lumens on high. Then you push and hold it, and it turns itself off. Easy peasy. So another cool feature is that it has an actual lamp right here that lights up when the battery is fully charged. It'll be green. Then it goes to an orange when it's dying, and then red when it's really low. So Petzl's warranty on this headlamp is 3 years, and that's pretty substantial. I mean, this thing is a pretty well-built headlamp. It does fit exceptionally well on my head here. It is extremely comfortable. I gotta adjust it just a little bit though, because it's a little loose. There we go. And as I said, you know, once it's in place, it's not going anywhere, and I can adjust this up or down depending on where I actually need the light. So, as I said, we're going to get this thing outside. I'm going to show you how bright it really gets and why you should buy one. Alright, so as this thing is on my head, it's super comfortable. I can adjust it up and down. There's 6 different angle settings all the way down, and it stays in place. I mean, it doesn't, I don't have that bob, or that it doesn't bounce up and down while it's on my forehead. It's ridiculously comfortable. It's probably the most comfortable headlamp I've ever tested, next to some other ones. Through Nights is pretty comfortable. Petzl has a lot of great comfortable headlamps, and I have a few. This is a really, really good one. The padding that they use on the inside here, though, that goes to the on the underside of the lamp on your forehead, very well cushioned, and it feels good. I mean, eventually I won't even notice that it's still there. Now in the actual boost mode, if I hit it twice, it'll go to like max output. So there's your max 215 lumen, and it only goes out for max for a couple seconds, and then it goes back down to high. If I go into the red light, then I go into the reactive, and I'll just put my finger over the sensor. This thing gets super ridiculously bright depending on the light output that I actually need. And then I can switch it off again on the side here, and I can go to constant. And then from here you go to the top button, and you can go into full on. That's full on. And you have spot, flood, both, and then you hit the button again, it goes into red light mode, and then you can have it blinking as a beacon, which is really great for safety. Hit it again, it goes to constant on. Hit the side button again, it goes back to the reactive lighting technology. The technology built into here, you have 3 different settings. You have the reactive technology, you have constant on, and you have red. You have max autonomy, you have standard, and you have max power. So there you have 3 different settings as well. So at max autonomy at 80 lumens, you have a 10-hour minimum runtime on this headlamp, which is great. That's plenty. You're not going to use it for 10 hours over a weekend. You probably use it for a few hours at best. At standard at 160 lumens, you can actually go a little over 5 hours, which is even better. So if you're doing like a night run or something like that, you have 160 lumens on night run. That's plenty. 5 hours, that's great. That's plenty of time. Then at max power, which is 215 lumens, you have about a 2.5 hour run time, which is still, I mean, if you're going for a night ride and you're just going to run for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you're going to have max light output for 2.5 hours. That's great. Alright, so on the constant light setting, that's the flood beam here, that's a little over 10 hours at 45 lumens. So when you do the flood and the spot, it's about 100 lumens, and it's good for about 5 hours on a fully charged battery. When you just use the spot, it's about 150 lumens, and that's good for about 2.5 hours. When you go to the red setting, full on, just solid on, is about 30 hours. Flashing is 90 hours, so it's going to last a really long time, especially if you're using that thing as a beacon. 90 hours, that's several days, so that's cool. Now keep in mind, you can go to the boost mode, which is 215 lumens for only a couple of seconds, and that's only good on the reactive lighting technology setting. There's also a reserve of 25 lumens, and that's good for an hour. So keep in mind that there's a lot of technology built into this headlamp, and it's really cool. It's extremely comfortable as well. So what you do is you get your cable, kind of just plug it in, just like that. Once it's plugged in here, you plug that end into your computer, and then you can recharge it, and you can set it up to the app, whether it's Windows or iOS. They have an app for either, and then you can adjust the different light output modes on the app, and then that syncs right to the headlamp, so you're all set, ready to go whenever you go out into the backcountry or for a trail run or what have you.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, so I'm across the street from my house. I had some camera malfunction earlier this evening, so I couldn't really get any trail video per se, but I still have the youth softball field backdrop as my fall my backup. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna turn on the Tikka RXP. Okay, so there we go right there. And then we're gonna put it into the red mode. So there's red. Pretty sweet. It's good for reading or reading the trail at night. And this is the reactive lighting technology. This is what I was talking about. So if I hold my finger over the sensor, because there is some ambient light around me, like some street lights. So I hold my finger over the sensor and it gets brighter. I'll just do it over here. So this is just regular. Hold my finger, it gets brighter. And if you hit that top button again, now you can cycle through the different light modes. So here's red, here's your flood, there's your both, there's your spot, flood, red, spot, both. Pretty darn bright. Hit the side button again. Now you're back into the reactive lighting technology, which is, as I said, you close off the sensor, it gets darker, the light gets brighter. This is a really sweet headlamp. It's probably my favorite headlamp that I've tested and reviewed so far, and it works really well. So not only is it super comfortable, but you know, it works great and it feels good. You know, it's very comfortable. So as I said, reactive lighting technology. I'm just going to cover the sensor. You can see how much brighter it gets. Alright guys, so just a quick overview of the actual app for Petzl. I'm going to plug in the headlamp right now. And just as soon as you open the app, it just tells you to plug it in. Alright, so once you plug it in, here's all your options. I mean, you could set this thing up for max autonomy, standard, max power, and it kind of just gives you all of your stats right here. You can do, you know, if it's on max power, you have 2 hours and 30 minutes of runtime. And then you can vary it, you know, all your light output modes, distance, everything. You know, you can set it up, your beam distances. Everything is all set up through the app, which is really cool. So when you click on this little down arrow right here, it gives you the battery life. And then it gives you your active profile here. So multi-activities. You can change the activity profile at any time by dragging a profile from the profile library to the activity profile window, or by clicking on the plus button. So you can slide this over, and then you can create a new activity. You go up here, you can name your headlamp to a different name if you want to. Just leave it as Tikka RXP. And then when you go up here to connected devices, it tells you what's connected. You can do a product update, but it's already up to date. It says your product's up to date. If there was a product update for it, it would give you a little prompt and you'd be able to update the software of the headlamp. And then you can go into File. You can change language, import a different profile, export a profile, or quit. You can go into Compare. So if you had you can create a new profile from this profile, and then you can compare the two, which one you like best. Well, you could just kind of slip through and kind of just figure out which way you want to set up your light. Really cool app. It's pretty user friendly and pretty simple to use. Another cool feature too is if you click on the Petzl logo right here on the top left, it'll open Petzl.com, which is pretty cool. All right, well, that's about it. This shows you all the different, output levels and how you can set up the reactive lighting technology, standard, max power, max autonomy, and then how do you want your light outputs? Do you want it mostly down? Do you want it down and out towards the trail, or do you want it as a long distance spot for further down the trail? I mean, the options are there. So it's pretty cool. You can set it all up right here on the app, and it is USB rechargeable as well. So you can recharge it in the backcountry. You don't have to worry about bringing a bunch of batteries with you. Just bring one. All right, guys, so that's my review of the Petzl Tikka RXP. This is a USB rechargeable headlamp with a lot of cool features and a lot of technology built into it. It's from a company called Petzl. Here's their website right here. Definitely want to make sure you check these guys out. If you like my review and found it informative, if you want to get one of these for yourself, click on that link down in my description box below and make your purchase. When you do, it helps support my YouTube channel. If you guys have any questions or comments about this headlamp, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about things like this. So leave them all down in my comment section and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Also, too, please like, share, and subscribe. If you found the video informative and you like it, give it a video a thumbs up for me. Here's the thumbs up button right down there. Click on that, give the video a thumbs up, and subscribe. Here's the subscribe button right here. Click on that, and this way you stay up to date on everything that I'm working on here at Trail and Mountain. So thanks very much for tuning into my latest video. I really appreciate it. Please keep checking back for more gear reviews, gear talk, outdoor-related hodgepodge, and giveaways. Take care, guys. Get outdoors.